You may continue.
Are we live?
Yes, we're live.
Perfect. Hi, welcome to Stories with Issues. I'm Lalo.
And I'm Robert.
And The Flash came
okay,
out.
Can we talk about the fact we just came back from the dead, just out of the blue?
Yes. Yeah, we're back. We're planning to do a whole relaunch on Stories with Issues.
We have a few more logistical issues to work out, but hopefully we should get this done by end of summer, logistically. So instead of just sitting on our ass waiting for the video,
we decided to like do something about the show. And what better way to start us up than with a Flashpoint? That's right, we're doing Flashpoint by Jeff Johns with art by Andy Kubert. And so here's the thing with Flashpoint. So the Flash came out last week. Unfortunately, it's not doing as well in box office as everyone expected. How much is doing, Robert?
We don't talk about
let me look it up real quick.
The thing's like at 50 mil.
It did 50 mil this first weekend, which is not very good. It's not very.
Okay, can I talk about this for a second? It's been pissing me off this whole entire week. Everyone's kind of blame Ezra Miller for this. Right? I do believe he has an impact. But also, it wasn't the greatest week for movie theaters in general. It's mainly because of that fact that there's a blockbuster every week. So at this point, it's not really much of a blockbuster.
Transformers came out. Spider-Man came out. What else? Yeah. The Flash came out, obviously.
We're also looking at Dial of Destiny next week. We're looking at
Dial of Destiny comes out next week.
You know, we have films dropping every week this summer, as I am currently vibing with. Thanks, Laho.
Yeah, we saw The Flash. I enjoyed it. I loved it.
It was
good.
We're
not here to talk about it.
Oh well, I kind of want to get to that after we cover the story.
Absolutely, and the point of inspiration for The Flash is actually the Flashpoint storyline, which is a funny story to begin with. Like, the story in and of itself is very straightforward. But the biggest, reason why why this story is so important is because of the drama that it brought up after it came out. Because it was... So the story is... But let's talk about the story. The story opens with Barry Allen. Right? He's narrating his story, and he just returned. Barry Allen just returned from being dead.
Don't you just love when that happens? Spawns back into life.
Well, he died in Crisis back in '86.
Back in '86, back in my day.
Back in 1986, he died during the Crisis of Infinite Earths. He sacrificed himself. And he destroyed the Anti-Monitor's gun.
Okay.
Right? So he just returned. And after he returned, we had the Flash Rebirth storyline, which was Jeff Johns just reestablishing what the Flash means for him and for the DC universe. What Barry Allen means. Because Wally West was also the Flash for a while after Barry Allen died. He kind of carried on the torch of the Flash character and the Flash book for 20-something years. And then suddenly Barry Allen returns during Infinite Crisis. And during the Flash Rebirth story, it is revealed that Eobard Thawne actually was the one who has been tormenting Barry Allen in the most pettiest of ways. For example, let me pull it up real quick. I have it right here. There's one moment where Thawne says, do you remember that time where you fell off the stairs? Or that time where your best friend died? Or your dog died? Or better yet, that one time your mom died. yeah, that was all me, Barry.
My mind just goes to that stupid animated show. It was me, Barry.
Remember the first time you were making out with your first girlfriend, and you came right as she touched your leg? It was me, Barry. I jerked you off at super speed, so it seemed like you nodded at just a woman's touch.
God.
Yes, literally that.
Maybe this is why we're single. Just saying.
Probably. Hey, ladies,
You-
we're single.
Can you not no, we're not going to get canceled over... You know how many YouTubes I've watched about getting canceled over them hooking up with fans? We're not doing that, Lalo. No.
So, like, Barry's, like, returned, his arrival, was basically, like, darkened by this new revelation of his life. And we opened the Flashpoint paradox by just, like, reestablishing what Barry Allen is. Barry Allen was a scientist who was struck by lightning and suddenly became the fastest man alive. And it's all well and good, and then one morning Barry Allen wakes up. And he wakes up back in the prison. He has no idea what's going on, but they're telling him that the Citizen Cold and and is attacking someone in the Citizen Cold museum, and they have to investigate Miss Alchemy's murder. And he's basically, like, they're briefing him on cases that he has no context of. He has no idea why, and he hears on the news that the rogues are fighting, like, for a power struggle, where Barry is like, okay, this seems like a job for the Flash, and Barry, like, is ready to leave, and then he realized he doesn't have his ring. You know, the thing that is very important for the Flash, because that's where he keeps his suit. And when he realizes that, he falls down the stairs into, like, the floor. It is awoken, like, he passes out. Barry just falls down the stairs and is passed out. And he wakes up to his mother. Which is really weird, because his mother was murdered. He grew up without her. And now he's seeing her right in front of his eyes. And Barry's like, Mom, this is amazing. What are you doing here? And she's like, oh, Barry, you forgot. You forgot my birthday, right?
Oh.
We were gonna go to dinner. Barry's like, oh my God, no, how can I forget? No. And it's like, this is perfect. And he hugs her. And it's like, it's so good to see you, Mom. And Mrs. Allen is like, it's good to see you too. And Barry's like, trying to, like, get to know what's going on. Like, hey, where's Dad? It's like, are you alright, Barry? Did you hit your head? Like, why? What happened? Where's Dad? I said, Barry, your father died from a heart attack 3 years ago. He's like, what's going on? So he has his mom, but he doesn't have his dad. Which, if you know, like, about the Flash's whole thing is like, when he was a child, his mother was murdered, and his father was arrested. And now he has his mom. His dad has died. And Barry, like, stares at his mom and is like, Mom, I'm the Flash. And something's wrong. And someone must have done something. And she's like, who's the Flash? And like, the Flash, Mom? The fastest man alive? The guy who can run really fast from the Justice League. And she's like, what's the Justice League? And it's like, Mom, are you kidding me? What about Superman? Have you heard of him? She's like, Barry, you're not making any sense. Calm down. Like, Batman. What about Batman? Do you know Batman? She's like, that I know. Batman, I do know him. And we cut to Gotham City, where Batman is, like, hunting down this villain, this criminal, who's like working for the Joker.
It's kind of, okay, if you mind me hopping in real quick, it's kind of interesting that Batman, of all things, is kind of like the biggest intersection point for, like, most of the DC universe.
Yeah, we're like, we go everywhere in the DC. He took off, like, he's looking for the Dent for Harvey Dent's Judge Dent's twins who were kidnapped,
Judge
and the
Dent?
Joker
What?
knows what they are. The Judge Dent's twins. So many S sounds. I'm sorry. They've been taken, and Batman is looking for them. And this character, he's like, we don't get a name for her, by the way. In the movie, if you see the movie, not the Flash movie that just came out, but the Flashpoint Paradox animated movie, this character's name is Yo-Yo. In the book, we don't get a name for her, but Batman's like, Batman is like, no, this character is like, I don't know. And even if I did, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't do you any good, Batman. It's probably too late already. They're probably dead. And Batman is like, bet. And he just threw her off the building. And as she's falling,
So I assume.
Cyber just swoops in.
At what point on issue 1 are you on?
Part of issue 1?
Yeah, what issue are you on?
Like a couple pages.
I'm just gonna hit resume and pray it's the correct spot. Or she didn't even read.
She did read it.
She did?
Yeah, she did read it.
Oh.
Matt's read it.
Oh, that's right, because she brought up Thomas Wayne.
Yeah, she brought up the whole Thomas Wayne thing. So like, she immediately surrenders. This character surrenders to Cyborg. Cyborg's like, man, the fuck is wrong with you? Batman's like, you should have just let her hit the ground. And basically, the whole reason why Cyborg is here with Batman is because there is a war that's going on. And Cyborg is actually like trying to recruit Batman for the human side. And I say the human side because we have a whole army of metas. What's a meta? A meta is a superpowered individual in the DC universe. They call them meta-humans.
No
And
way.
in Marvel, there are actually several factions of superpowered individuals. In DC, it's just one. It's just a meta-human.
I'm currently staring at a picture of Thomas Wayne and like a female Joker.
That's Yo-Yo actually.
Oh, okay. So I'm actually at the right spot, or close to it.
A little bit. Go a little forward. We should be able to see. We should be able to see like the whole army of characters that Cyborg is recruiting.
Page 19.
Yeah.
Alrighty. One moment. Let me try if I can get this to load. I should probably turn off my game at this point.
Probably.
I don't like your backtrack law though. I don't see the one trying to put on the initiative to do this.
Good thing. Sorry. So we have like this team of characters that is like kind of at each other's throats. They're not a team yet. That's the thing. And they won't be a team unless Batman joins them. And Batman is like, fuck that. No way. We're not doing this. And we're back with Barry and his mom, actually. And Barry's like, he's at Central City Picture News. Well, Central City Citizen. And the Flash show is Central City Picture News. And he's like, I need to talk to Iris. Iris will understand. And he's like talking to the receptionist, and Iris is actually she's coming out of the office, and she meets up with her fiance, and Barry's like, what? And like not making any sense, and he just walks out of the place.
Already.
Nothing is making sense.
See at least the full spread of the page.
Oh yes.
Oh.
So like we got in that page. Sorry, I'm going back a couple of pages for myself. We have Citizen Cold. We have Elemental Woman. We have Abin Sur as the Green Lantern. We have the Enchantress. We have the Shazam, or at least the Shazam team, which is funny because in normal continuity it's just Billy Batson, and the rest of the kids are Shazam characters in and of themselves. But here, actually, we see later on that all of these like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 kids are, I was counting them, are Captain Marvel, which is
Odd.
Shazam.
Odd. So they like Voltron together.
Yeah, they all Voltron
Oh,
into
what
like
the
one.
fuck? I was just joking about that.
They all like turn into Shazam.
That is weird. I don't like that.
Yeah, and you know how Shazam is actually like an acronym, and it stands for like,
Wait, is it really?
yeah, Solomon, Zeus, Hercules,
I got it.
I don't know.
It's a bunch of Greek guys.
Bunch of Greek gods, yeah. Like, each kid represents a god. Each kid, like, Solomon is wisdom, Hercules is strength, Atlas is stamina, Zeus is power, Achilles is courage, and Mercury is speed. So, like, each kid, it represents, like, the attribute that they get from each god.
It'd be really fucked up if they gave the kid in crutches the speed pedal.
Oh my god.
I'm going to hell. I'm
The
going
M?
to hell.
You mean M?
I don't know. I've never read Shazam or even watched the films. Okay.
But like that's only in the Flashpoint, which is funny because that was a neat idea that no one did anything with it. So Barris exits out of Central City Citizen, and he sees a yellow blur. As he hears a voice that says, "How nice to see you, and alive and well, Mrs. Allen." And boom, he zooms past. It's like, "Mom, do you have a?" So they all put it in some other organization. Some organizations like agreed. Some deny. Some put it to a vote. The Shazam kids actually like they put it to a vote, and since they tie, right? There's a moment where they tie, and I think that's actually later on. No, they do. This in this moment, they all tie, and Shazam, in order to like settle it, they call upon Shazam or Captain Marvel, and we find out that he has three scars over his eyes because of Wonder Woman. So Shazam Captain Marvel's like, I'm in. And considering that Batman refuses to join, he's like, no, I'm not doing that. This is insane. You're in a suicide mission. Batman, everyone else like backs off. Then we cut back to Barry. He's going to Gotham. And he's frustrated as he gets to Wayne Manor. He's calling for Alfred. He calls for Bruce. And he cannot find anyone. And as he reaches the cave, he finds only 3 things. A desk, a table with weaponry, and a table with a gun, and a broken like picture frame. And that's when Batman slams against him and says, "Who are you? Who the hell are you?" And Barry's like freaking out and says, "Bruce, wait." You have to remember, it's me. It's Barry Allen. Bruce. Bruce? Batman says, I know your real name. I know what happened. Bruce. Bruce Wayne is dead. I watched him die. And that's when realized what's different with this Batman. And it's not that it's Barry Allen. It's Thomas Wayne.
Wait, Barry Allen, what?
It's not Bruce Wayne. Sorry. It's not Bruce Wayne. It's actually Thomas. Thomas Wayne is Batman.
No way. Who would have guessed? What a twist, right?
But the twist, and as we jump into issue 2, we start with a narration from Bruce Wayne saying, you know, I was never a good guy. I was never like. Hold on, my issue is loading.
Just because you're a bad guy doesn't mean you're a bad guy.
Okay, Wreck-It Ralph. Jesus, how many pages come in this deluxe edition?
21.
Thank you. It actually came on both. Like, we have a narration from Bruce Wayne. Actually, we jump into a ship. And it's the Legion of, as we know them, the Legion of Doom. Deathstroke and Lex Luthor are caring about a metahuman, and their ship get ambushed by Aquaman, who slaughters them all. Then we go back to Gotham as Bruce Wayne is beating the living hell out of Barry.
Oh my goodness, this book has an advertisement for the Green Lantern film.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Like, trying to defend himself.
Oh, look, a variant cover. That's a badass variant cover. Holy shit.
Which one? Hold on. Let's go back.
Wonder Woman.
Oh, the one about Mara?
What?
Mara.
That the woman freaking
Mira?
speak English.
Wonder Woman holding Mira's head.
Okay, thank you. You gotta remember, I don't know shit about DC.
Fair enough.
I can fake it enough for Marvel. I just can't fake it enough for DC.
You're like, oh, Batman, I know that guy.
Batman, Flash, and that's about it.
You don't know Superman?
No, it depends.
So, also, I have smalls and small right here.
You even got like the sketch cover of it.
Yeah, that sketch cover is awesome. And Kubert's art looks amazing every day of the week.
Not better than Alex Ross, though.
Well, they're both like different styles.
I don't care. Alex Ross is goated no matter what or who you put him against.
For the longest time, my belief was that it was Jim Lee. And actually, like, it took me years to realize. It actually took me rereading this book to look at the art properly and say, holy shit, that's Andy Kubert. After like 10 years of me thinking, oh, that's Jim Lee's art.
He's probably going, holy shit, it's African Goose. That was bad. I'll shut up now.
I laughed out of courtesy, to be honest.
That was really bad.
So, Batman is like beating the ever-living shit out of Barry. And Barry's like trying to explain himself. He's like, my name is Barry Allen, but like you, I have another identity. I am the Flash. After I was struck by lightning, and Batman just punches him in the face. Like,
I became one with the Speed Force after I got struck by lightning.
Batman is actually like, you weren't fast enough to avoid that, you delusional son of a bitch.
Holy shit, how long does this Legion of Doom meeting last?
A couple pages, like 3 pages.
That's a fucking lie. Man, this Aquaman, what? Aquaman just killed Slade Wilson. He just passed it over.
Yeah.
How the
I
fuck?
didn't care about Slade Wilson.
Okay, but Aquaman is supposed to be this good guy who fucks fish, but
He doesn't fuck fish.
okay, is Mira not a mermaid?
Yeah, he is a merman. Merman. The
Okay,
term that you're looking for.
okay,
Merman.
but is his wife a mermaid? Right?
No,
No, is she a human?
no.
Does she
She's
have gills?
Atlantean.
Does she have gills?
That's not important.
It is important.
So
Does she have gills? That's the question.
she does have gills.
That makes her a fish.
Actually, shut the fuck up.
So he fucks fish, plain and simple.
Barry's like trying to like explain to Batman that he's not his enemy, and as Batman like is breaking literally every bone in his body, Barry has a seizure where he starts to remember. His brain breaks as he remembers his previous time. He remembers his previous timeline, and he's remembering this brand new timeline that he has created. And he says that his memories are changing. He remembers the last year's Aquaman attacked. It all happened last year. Aquaman and Atlantis flooding Europe, and before that, Wonder Woman leading the Amazon on the Blitzkrieg in London. My memories are changing. This isn't a parallel Earth or a mirror world. This is home.
Oh
This
lord,
is real.
not another blitzkrieg over London. After the 40s, they were praying for them to stop.
And Batman is like looks at him and says, "That's the first thing you said that made sense." As Barry's like trying to recover his ring falls out of his jacket, and he's like, he looks at it. He's like, I'll show you that I'm telling you the truth. Just let me open this ring. And he opens it. In the costume pops out of the Flash ring, but it's not Barry's costume. It's Eobard Thawne.
It's the reverse Flash costume, right?
Yeah, the reverse Flash costume is yellow and red. Well, Barry's costume is red and yellow. You get the idea.
It was me, Barry.
And Barry goes into whole paranoid mode. It's like he could be watching us right now, moving so fast he's invisible. It's like the man, and Batman's like, who? What are you talking about? It's like the man this costume belongs to, Eobard Thawne. And Batman's like, what kind of fucking name is Eobard? It's like the future kind.
Yeah?
He's a scientist from the 25th century who became obsessed with the power I've had. He turned himself into his own era's fastest man alive by replicating the accident that transformed me into a living kinetic engine. He calls himself Professor Zoom, the Reverse Flash. And Batman starts putting shit together. And says, why would his uniform be inside your ring? And how the hell does that even fit there? Says it's in here because Thawne put it there. He wants me to know he's behind this. He's taunting me. It's like, you're more paranoid than the Joker. You belong in Arkham. I'm not crazy, Dr. Wayne. And Barry starts explaining like the fact that he's the one who changed history. He can change a single moment in time, creating a paradox to last over lasting timelines. It says he says my mother was murdered when I was 10 and my father was convicted for it. I spent my life studying the forensics to prove that he was innocent and to catch my mother's real killer. But my father died in prison and I never found a suspect.
Bum, bum.
Until I became the Flash and I discovered my entire life had been targeted by an enemy I hadn't even made yet. It was the reverse. It was revenge in reverse. Thawne can travel through time. He was the one that killed my mother. But she's alive now. There's no doubt Thawne's altered history again. Everything has gone to hell. No one's even ever heard of Superman. Aquaman's at war with Wonder Woman. And Batman stops him. What about Bruce? You called me Bruce when you came in here. Barry just looks at him and says, that's because in the world I know, you were shot and killed instead of him. Bruce became Batman to wage war against crime in Gotham City. And that's what convinces Thomas immediately. Your son was one of my closest friends. He is one of my closest friends. If you're telling the truth, Batman says, then you can change this. Can you change it back so that I died and Bruce lived? Barry says, I need to find the Reverse Flash, figure out what he did, and force him to revert history to what it was. Batman is convinced that he is actually trying to convince himself, give himself hope, that for the first time, he can change this whole world. And Barry, all he needs is one thing. He needs his speed. Back in London, we meet with Steve Trevor, actually, who is being persecuted by an army of Amazonians.
What did you do
until
this time?
he's... What do you mean, what did I do this time?
What did he do this time?
Oh, he's a spy for the American government.
Odd. Okay. I don't know. The only piece of Steve Trevor history I know is from the film. The first one, not the second one. I've never seen the second one either.
I saw it, actually.
How was that one?
So, right. It was very much a way for them to, like, give Chris Pine another paycheck.
So like how James Gunn does with Michael Walker and Nathan Fillion and his crew.
Absolutely. And Pedro Pascal was actually pretty fun in that movie. Not gonna lie.
Is it worth watching? That is the question.
Not anymore, considering that entire timeline has been erased.
Has it though?
Yeah. We'll talk more about that later. But so Wonder Woman catches him and she's like, your accent, that's not American. But you are with the American government. And you're going to tell me a little bit more about yourself. And she starts interrogating him with the lasso of Hestia, the lasso of truth. And he is probably one of the first men who was able to resist the lasso for some impossible reason. For a second, of course. And until Wonder Woman asked him, who are you and what are you doing in Themyscira? And that's when he explains that his name is Steve Trevor. He's actually looking for Lois Lane. He's a Pulitzer Prize winner reporter and probably one of the most beautiful women I've ever met. She is gathering information, looking at New Themyscira, getting information for Cyborg to win the war. Lane knows every move you're about to make. She requested extraction and I volunteered. And as she says that, Wonder Woman is actually contemplating what she's gonna do to him, and immediately calls upon the Amazonians to find Lois Lane, and she murders Steve Trevor.
That's quite unfortunate.
Jumping back into Gotham, they build an electric chair for Barry. And
I'm getting flashbacks.
You're recognizing this, don't you?
Yes.
So funny enough, this happens not only in the Flash movie, but also in the Flash TV show.
Oh my goodness.
Because the Flash lost his powers during season 2. And so in order to do that, they are doing the exact procedures that they did on the show. I mean, on the Flash. So what they're doing is Barry is hooking up an electric chair up on the roof of Wayne Manor. Why? So they can get a lightning to strike and shower Barry Allen in chemicals.
You know, as one wants, right?
Huh?
As one wants to happen, right?
Yeah, because that's the only way to replicate the accident that turned him into the Flash.
That was sarcasm, Marlo.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not sure you knew.
So, as Barry is like strapping into the chair and like hooking everything up, Bruce Wayne, no, not Bruce Wayne, Thomas is actually like looking at him and he says to him, you're insane. You belong in Arkham. It's like, shut up, Thomas. Just turn it on. And as he does, the lightning strikes him down. It immediately showers him entirely into. And unfortunately, the chemicals just gas up and light up in fire, which immediately burns Barry to a crisp.
Well, that's quite unfortunate.
And
can we talk about this panel of Batman and the bottom right corner was like, huh? That's what a burning human looks like.
Yeah, Batman is like, fuck. What the fuck did I do?
Oh damn! Oh, oh, hold on, my page is loading.
Are you in issue 3?
No, I'm on issue 2.
Why the? Okay.
You don't tell me what, like, how far you go ahead, so I just kind of go at my own pace.
That's all right. I'm on issue 3. Jumping into issue 3.
I'm still loading issue 2. Still.
Do you want me to wait?
No.
Okay. So, not a Wonder Woman. Fuck. Cyborg is actually setting up a meeting to talk to the president. And this is where the president is. This is 2011, actually. This book came out in 2011. So, the president in this book is Barack Obama.
Obama. Hey, remember the
and
time I found the
Obama-
Obama comic book? Sorry, small tangent.
You did find an Obama.
That was so odd. Just felt like that was the only time I could ever flex that little thing I got. Yeah. It wasn't really that interesting. It's just a biography, but in comic book form.
No, it's kind of cool, actually. Not gonna lie.
I bought it as a shit post, so.
You did buy it as a shit post. Obama's basically telling Cyborg, like, you couldn't get your metahuman team. You're done. You're done. It's done. Thank you for your service to the American government, and good riddance. Have a good life. May the force be with you. And we actually jump back into the Batcave, where Batman is just healing Barry's wounds. Where Barry's just a complete mess. His body is dying. He's losing like strength, but he can still talk somehow. And Barry's like, Thomas is actually like looking at him like, you should be a fucking corpse. Like, why are you not dead?
Fun fact, I still haven't even loaded the page. So, in order to prevent getting too far ahead, we should talk about something, you know. I don't know, but just something so you can get my poor internet to catch up.
Okay. We can talk about actually the Flash movie if you want.
No, because I think that's best solved with the context that
For the
this
end?
film, that this book gives. Because like I'm watching this, I'm seeing everything tie into itself now. Like obviously the Flash is more DCEU focused, but I see the intersection points tying together.
Well, during this is actually like
Oh, hey.
this story. It loaded.
Yeah, it's a Flashpoint like variant cover, I think. It's like a design.
Yeah.
Yeah. Aquaman. Okay, I'm trying. Oh no, I'm still on issue 2. Oopsie.
Okay.
Well, it prompted me to go to issue 3, so I went to issue 3, resume issue 3. Let me go to issue 3. It won't let me.
So this book was actually like I said, it was written by Jeff Johns with art by Andy Kubert. It's actually like there's a funny story behind this book that it's not entirely like the creation of the book was entirely like, or more like the effect of the book was an accident. You know what I mean?
Just like us.
So the depression hits Robert. The book was originally intended as a one-off Barry Allen story, kind of like reestablish what Barry Allen like has been through, and kind of like a jumping point for new readers since Barry Allen had been gone for so long. Just
Since the 80s.
premiere him with a since the 80s, yeah, has been gone for so long, and like we're premiering him in a brand new story. And Jeff Johns, that was his whole intention from the beginning. And then this editorial was like, holy shit, we're in the middle of a time thing. Okay, let's reboot everything because I'm so sick of just having to answer questions to fans, right?
Doomsday Clock, anyone?
And they took this story. They took this story and they made it a whole bigger deal than it was. It actually ended up being the origin point, the jumping off point for New 52.
That thing was a mistake to begin with.
Which, where you can tell it was doomed to begin with, considering where it spawned out of.
Spawn.
This was meant to be.
That's what you sound like, Lol. I'm just saying.
This was meant to be a one-off story, and actually you'll see later on what I mean by this, where you can tell that they changed something big in this story.
The page.
And you'll see
loaded.
that the page is loaded for issue 3.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm currently looking at Barry in bandages. Is that where you're at, give or take?
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Oh.
And Thomas is like Barry, you're alive? And yeah. He's like, no. He's like, oh, just vibing, you know, just chilling. Literally me after my crash. And Barry was just like, he just starts to getting up. He wants to get up, and Thomas is like, no, you can't. Like, you're out of your fucking mind. You're out of your mind. You have to lie down. You have to recuperate. We can't, like, and let the medicine take effect. And he starts stating, like, you're lucky to be alive. You have third-degree burns over 75% of your body. And Barry's like, it doesn't matter. I have to try again. I can't forget. And as he says that, his mind starts reshifting again. He remembers like a birthday cake he had with his mother. He remembers like several crime scenes that he's been over, and several meetings that he's been to. And it's like my memories keep changing. realigning with this new history the Reverse Flash created. If we don't fix this soon, I won't even realize what's wrong. Just like Thawne made me forget the life I had before he went back in time and murdered my mother, I won't remember my life. Or I won't remember your son. It's in my wallet. In the tape. It's right here, actually.
You're gonna send me.
Sorry, Robert. I gotta do something real quick.
Lame.
Thank you. Bye, Robert.
He says, I won't remember anything. Not even your son. Please, Dr. Wayne. I have to try again. Help me back to the roof. And we hear, like, Barry just struggling to get to the roof and try to do this all over again. And says, and Thomas actually says, you're crazy. Says, like a fox. Now help me get back in. And as he says that, a lightning strikes again over on the roof. Both Barry and Batman fly off of the roof.
Now, what was that statement about how lightning strikes twice?
Well, you know it's a myth, right?
Yes, I'm trying to tie it back, Lalo. Okay, it struck twice in the same location. Let me be at least somewhat contributive to the conversation here.
Sure thing. So like they both fly off, and as Barry's like just literally like ocean manning over the side of the building, his eyes light up on electricity. Energy fuels through his body. And as Thomas Wayne's about to become a shish kebab on Wayne Manor's fence, Barry swoops down and speeds him off.
No offense.
That was a bad joke.
Just like your
The
life.
shish kebab. What were you gonna say?
No, no offense. You get it? Because
What do you mean?
No, never mind.
Oh my fucking god.
Took you a
That's so
minute, but
stupid,
you
Robert.
got it.
Yeah, you fucking got it eventually.
Jesus Christ.
And Barry just looks at him as he like puts him on the ground and says, I told you that it would work. Back in New Themyscira. By the way, this book is jumping back and forth, back and forth.
Man, it's almost like it was
It's
a
all
one-off.
over- It's all over the fucking place. We meet with Lois Lane, which is actually like waiting for the recruit for the Steve Trevor that he never arrived. Well, she is rescued by the Resistance, led by Grifter, and some other characters who I do not know. I legitimately do not know them.
Oh, come on. You're supposed to be the DC guy now.
No, I'm not. I just like really like some stories. My knowledge is like extends to beyond like 5 or 10 books over the last like 10 years.
But yet you give me shit for the same thing.
Absolutely. And Barry is like back to Wayne Manor.
Oh my god,
Dr.
it's
Wayne
jumping
is like-
back. What was the purpose
Yeah.
of those 2 pages?
Literally nothing.
Oh god, I love that.
You know what you know what the point of those 2 pages was? Introduce this new character that was created by Jim Lee after the acquisition. And they were able to fold them into continuity. That's what this page was about.
Fun.
Because Grifter was created by Jim Lee and he's part of the Wildcats. So that's what that page, those 2 pages were about, telling you, hey,
Look at
Grifter is
this.
in this book. Yeah.
So Barry's on the table getting examined.
And Dr. Wayne is like, you're nearly healed. That's perfect. But you're gonna need this. And he gives him the Flash's suit. I don't have like you're not wearing any of my costume. I'm not giving you a costume. If that's what you're looking for, which is funny. Which is funny for like.
Did
And Barry's like, he like vibrates the atoms of the costume together because he doesn't want to wear the Reverse Flash's suit. That's the main thing for him. Because think about this. This man killed his mom in cold blood. Would you ever wear that costume?
yes,
Considering what it stands for?
yes.
No. So he grabs
Yes.
that costume and like vibrates the molecules off of the costume, turning them from yellow to red and the red to yellow. Basically making himself a Flash costume. And now he goes back to the Batcave looking for information. Okay. Basically he's basically like looking up Superman. And he finds out that Superman is actually in a bunker. And he looks up Hal Jordan. He finds out that Hal is actually a regular pilot for Ferris Air. And he falls into the conclusion that I cannot bring him along. It would be very dangerous for him. Also, I want to say that the Flash figure has actually stood up pretty well during this whole thing. None of the lightning bolts have fallen off.
Now that you've said that, they're going to fall off. Also,
I know.
this man bought a Flash figure after seeing the Flash. It's like the Mutson movie one, ain't it? It's movie suit and everything.
Yeah, it's a movie suit and everything.
Are you
It's McFarlane. It's the McFarlane figure. It's called the Speed Force variant. It was $19.99 on the McFarlane store.
The question is, are you going to buy the collection of the movie tie-in book?
I have issue 1 already, so I don't need the Flash. I have issue 1 of Flashpoint.
I'm talking about the movie tie-in book that they did for the Flash.
Probably. I don't know. Maybe next time I look into the comic book shop.
What, next decade?
Next decade.
Next decade.
And a half.
Yeah. Alright, getting back on track.
Yeah. So he's like, Batman is like, okay, so we're gonna look for Superman, and I know where to look. And they go to talk to Cyborg. Cyborg is actually ecstatic that he's meeting up with Batman again, because last time they meet up, it wasn't very promising. And Batman's like, I'll join your team. I'll join your fucking Suicide Squad.
You said the thing.
Yeah. You said the thing. And he says, I have one condition though. You have to help us find Superman. And and Cyborg is like, what the fuck is a Superman? I don't know. Just there was a ship that landed on Metropolis and decimated it, right? And Cyborg's like, yes. So that ship has someone inside, right? I don't know. Well, look it up, motherfucker. And Cyborg's like, yes, there was actually someone inside that ship. Got it. You're gonna help us find that person. And they do. They go to New Metropolis, and they're actually like underground, because that is the best way to enter the base of operation for the U.S. government. Because yeah, Cyborg hacked into the U.S. government, and they entered the base where apparently there are 3 subjects: Subject 1, Subject 2, and Subject 3. And they're going down on the hallway where they find actually Subject 2, and it's a skeleton dog. Do you get it, Robert?
No.
It's Crypto,
Oh.
the super dog.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's quite
He didn't make it.
unfortunate. Oh, that's depressing, actually.
Yeah. And I'm assuming subject 3 is Kara Sorel, but it's never stated in the book who subject 3 is.
Mm.
But they're actually like outside of the doors of of subject 1, which the door is obviously like covered by a big Superman logo.
No, that's hope. That's what the S stands for.
It's actually the symbol of the L family. So fuck you.
It's a symbol of hope. One thing
Okay,
Snyderverse is
okay,
true.
Snyder. Okay, Snyder. And so they put out to sleep the night. They put the Night Watch to sleep. They took him to the side, and they hack into the computer where they find the Superman.
He's so
Or
skinny.
subject 1. He's skinny because he's never touched the light of day.
Just like you.
Rude. And Batman is unimpressed, obviously, and he's like, "This is the most powerful being on the planet." Batman, you can see, Flash is, you can see he's fucking terrified. By the way,
Surely he knows that Clark is solar powered.
Yeah, he knows his friend, and it's like, "Oh my God, Clark, what did they do to you?" And he actually like Cyborg blasts the door out. They get him out, and Barry immediately says that he needs to see the sun because he knows his friend. He knows what his strengths are, and Cyborg like blasts through the guards and try to get out of there. It's literally that scene from the movie where they're all trying to get him out of the base.
Of the Russian prison.
Clark is in here is an American prison, but yeah. And
Well, you were
Barry's,
tying
like,
it back to the film.
Barry's trying to talk him down and like calm him down. And he's like, "We're gonna get you out of here, Superman. We're your friends, and we're gonna get you out of here, okay?" And Superman like looks at him and says, "Okay." And like kind of like part of me like kind of like softens up to him a little bit, because like it's so sad, like poor guy. And they're barely like getting out by the skin of their teeth. And as soon as they get out of the sewers, Superman sees the sunlight, and he says that it's beautiful. And they immediately like he starts lifting off, and they're all like, "What the fuck?" To the point, and Superman like looks at them, and his eyes grow red, and he like blasts the soldiers. Batman is like, "What are you waiting for? Kill him!" And Superman's like, "No," and he flies off. And Batman's like, "Fuck. Well, there goes our big savior."
Just floats off to space. Just dips.
He just blew ass and walked away.
As one does. Also, can we talk about his logo here?
That is a subject 1.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, ain't it?
Yeah, it's actually like a big S.
Yeah.
And has a number 1 and or a black suit.
You know, that's much more of a symbol of hope than just the Superman crest.
And
I'll shut up now.
God damn it! Did you just reference the fucking Justice League movie by Joss Whedon?
No, what? No, I'm just what?
And he says, okay, so in the Justice League, he says that his symbol represents hope, right?
Yes.
And sometimes one of the kids asks, "Well, why is it an S?" And Superman says, because sometimes hope is like your keys. It's waving like the sea, and it always comes back to you. That is
this is
literally
the
one
reason
of
why Justice League bombed at the box office.
Really? You think that's the only reason?
Yes.
So, back at Fawcett City, Obama is actually giving a statement
Are we in the next
of how.
issue?
Yeah, we're in issue 4.
You gotta tell me that, man. Last time I saw was
My bad,
they were
my
getting
bad.
their guns, they were getting got.
Yeah, there's a clean transition in that, so that's why I skipped it over. There is a statement that is being given by the president that basically is like, my fellow Americans.
The State of the Union.
I know. Yeah. I know. It basically says, I know the number of human lives lost due to the actions of Aquaman and Wonder Woman is beyond comprehension. Many of you held out hope that the superheroes out of the world would gather together and put a stop to the conflict between the Atlantes and Amazons. But that hope was misplaced. Those with superpowers have failed to organize in power in any meaningful way. And we have like the Shazam team basically like chilling and like talking about what they're gonna do. Well, Billy is kind of their leader. He's the one who introduced them to like apparently I'm guessing he's the one who introduced them to the wizard. And
This sounds so fucked. Without zero
this is
context.
very-
Yeah, Billy's the guy who just showed him to the wizard, Probably he could have been a drug dealer.
the wizard. So the way that the Shazam got his powers is
Gosh. We don't care. It's a
He
flash book. I don't care.
he met
Oh gosh,
Captain
what did I miss
Marvel.
today? Why did I say anything?
Billy Batson met a wizard who saw his true value and inner strength. And he's like, you will carry my message. You will be
No slices, I
Shazam.
fucked up, didn't I?
And then, so basically, like, the Shazam kids are not doing anything. They have no way of getting falling into any agreement to actually like be effective.
Oh, so what you're saying is that Resistance setup was literally a setup for a side book?
What?
Yeah, there's a side book called Lois Lane and the Resistance.
Fuck you, no way.
Yes, there is.
God damn it. That pisses me off so much.
That's why that page exists. It's a fucking setup for a side story.
So, that explains a lot, actually. That explains why they get so much context for the animated movie.
Oh my goodness, there's even a Hal Jordan book.
There's a Hal Jordan
there's
book?
2 Hal Jordan issues.
Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, that
Citizen
explains a lot.
Code, Deathstroke, Secret 7, The Outsider,
yeah, I
Legion
remember
of
those.
Doom. Legion of Doom gets 3 issues.
Neat. That's interesting.
Dead Man and the Flying Graysons.
What the fuck?
There's 3 issues of that. Yeah. There's also God of War.
God of War?
Yes. Damn
Damn it, that sounds amazing.
In chapter 2, we got more Outsider issues, more Deathstroke issues, lots of Deathstroke issues actually. Batman Night of Vengeance. Lois Lane and the Resistance has a second issue.
There's an Evan Sir book? What the fuck?
Booster Gold has a line of issues.
There's a
Frankenstein.
Citizen Cold book.
Frankenstein of all people get issues.
That's fucking awesome.
Hal Jordan gets another issue.
Wait, are you sure it's Hal Jordan and not Evan Sir?
It literally says Hal Jordan as in Hal Jordan.
Okay.
It's him being a fighter pilot, I think.
Okay. I'm gonna jump back into the book.
Sorry for taking you out of everything. I just felt like that was relevant.
Yeah, that was fucking awesome. I might read some of those.
You should totally read Lois Lane and the Resistance. Oh
No.
god. DC Infinite was a wise investment for us, wasn't it?
Yep. So, Hal Jordan is like being set up to go on this mission after the statement from the president, and his pilot is like, "You son of a bitch! Why do you make all these jokes? We're in the most serious moment of our life, buddy." And Hal Jordan's like, "You think I don't know that? You think after all that's happened, I'm not worried about myself or Carol or the rest of the world? I'm terrified. But I focus on that and I won't get in the cockpit. I focus on that and I'll go hide in the shadows like all those superheroes. That's not me. No matter what." And his co-pilot, like, it's not a co-pilot. His engineer's like, "Hal, good luck." And it's like, "Yeah." And Hal Jordan, basically that's a scene from Top Gun.
In other words, it's also a setup for the Hal Jordan spin-off
For the Hal
series.
Jordan book. Yeah.
We've learned, but we've wised up to why these things exist. That's
Yep,
stupid.
These random pages have meaning, apparently.
Who would have guessed that?
Back in Metropolis, the Flash is fighting off against like all the army, while like the army is like getting the upper hand on them. They actually knock down Barry, and suddenly Element Woman like jumps up and starts beating the shit out of them. And she's like complimenting the team, and Flash especially on the red suit. And Batman is like, "Okay, we gotta get the fuck out of here." And they actually invite Element Woman to be on the team because she's the only one that's actually willing to be on the team.
The Suicide Squad?
Yeah. And Barry's memories, he has another stroke type attack where his memories just start like erasing from his own brain and being replaced by new memories. And apparently this hurts him every time it happens.
If you think about it, your brain kind of getting rewritten would hurt in theory, right?
Yeah. And he's like remembering every birthday, like he remembers like some dinners with his parents. He remembers the heart attack from his dad. And he's telling Batman that it's worse than before. That he doesn't think that he has much time left before all his memories are completely replaced. And once that happens, he won't be able to remember the world that used to be.
One thing I do like about this, though, is that Thomas Wayne cares more about his son being alive than he does about just being alive.
Which is really sweet.
I'm
in a
kind
sense,
of
because he...
upset that they didn't go with that route for the film. Spoiler alert. It's Bruce Wayne. Well, we think it's Bruce Wayne.
No, it is Bruce Wayne.
It is Bruce Wayne? Okay. So, yeah, spoiler alert, it's Bruce Wayne and not Thomas Wayne. But I much rather would have had that angle of him not caring. He just cares that about Bruce living.
I would have loved to see Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Yeah, yeah. Copying that TikTok I sent you.
Well, he played Thomas Wayne.
Yeah, I know, but I sent you that TikTok, so. Ha.
No, that's always been like a thing for me. Like I would have, since I saw like The Walking Dead. I love Jeffrey Dean Morgan. But like so, Thomas injects him with a syringe and says, "Please don't forget him. Don't forget my son. Fight it, Alan." And we jump back into the Batson residence, I guess. That's what I'm gonna call it, because Billy Batson is the only kid I know. And they're talking about how their involvement in this war would actually benefit a lot of people. It's a quite interesting argument that they have, which is very much of even though Bailey's using metaphors, those metaphors are able to drive into the brains of these children, because he talks about the pizza dinners that he has with his family, and how with this war, if the world is over, there never gonna be any other pizza days, and that's what they have to fight for. They have to fight for pizza. They have to fight for everything that's around them, and they're immediately interrupted by Batman just fucking breaking down the door and says, "You need to help us." And Billy is actually the one holding the wisdom of whatever the fuck the guy is. I don't remember. And I don't give a shit.
Your
I don't care
attitude
enough.
truly shows.
I don't give a shit of who these characters from the Shazam universe are.
No one does. What do you think that last film flopped?
And Batman actually looks at Cyborg looks at the tiger that these children have in their house.
Okay, Mike Tyson
you're
has a
wrong.
tiger. So, I mean, at this point, it's not too wild.
And the kid, he's like, "Are your parents? Do your parents know you have a tiger in the house?" And one of the kid is like, "Whoa, you see the tiger?" And Billy reaches into Barry's mind, and it's actually a cool moment because he sees pre-Flashpoint.
Okay, I love
breaks.
the fact that if we had even a smidge of knowledge, Cyborg seeing the tiger would be cool, but we don't know we have no knowledge, so it's just an event that happens in the book.
Yeah. And Billy looks at pre-Flashpoint, which completely destroys him. It is "My name is Barry Allen," and they get a message immediately from the TV that are invisible jets attacking, and that Hal Jordan has gone missing.
Man was too much of a maverick.
And that's it. That's basically they're basically saying this is the end. And Barry just runs off with Thomas. It's we have to do something. People are dying. Real people are dying. I can't pretend that this is just a dream that's going to get wiped away anymore. And Batman is trying to reason with him, but saying it's going to be wiped away. It's just maybe not. What if I forget? What if Fawn doesn't what if we fail to stop Fawn? It's and Barry's we won't. Batman is we won't. And Barry's just trying to reason with him we have to fight. As much as I don't want to admit it, if this could be the world that we're stuck with. So he's like, we need to fight Aquaman and Wonder Woman, and we're going to need every superhuman to do it. We have to save this world. And Batman's like, no. Either we change this world, Flash, or we let it burn in hell. And Cyborg's like, why are you shouting? Like, you're scaring the children. Will anyone think of the children?
No. Screw the children.
Fuck them kids.
Okay, little Yachty.
And Barry's like, okay, yeah. You need to call your army. We need to call everyone. And Cyborg, it doesn't matter. Like they won't come. Not unless Batman does. Why? Because of the old urban legend built up around the Batman over the decades. He is practically invincible. And Barry's like, no one's invincible. But that fact shouldn't be holding anyone back. We all have something to offer, and we all have something to lose. We have to move on now. And Billy is actually like the one who fears, like, says, we have to, guys. We have to join this team. We have to make this happen. It's gonna be dangerous, it's gonna be dangerous for a child. It says it's gonna be dangerous for everyone, Flash. So with this few conversation, we get the first like signs of a Justice League after Batman says, what the hell? We might as well do this. They go to the new coast of New Themyscira, where they're all like a little crammed in there, and they're still gathering more people to get the war
Those
going.
what, like 7 people?
So far, well, the kids are one. The kids count as one character.
What are they Voltron
Yeah.
together right now? Or are they just kind of
They all kind of like they're
well,
separate
they're
together.
separated, so that's 6 right there. So that's 10 people in the knockoff Quinjet.
In the bat plane.
The knockoff Quinjet. I said what I said.
Yeah. And Batman's like saying that the Atlantis is in the midst of an attack, and it may be sending the Amazons into overdrive, but it's giving them a distraction. They have a clear path to London, and they're gonna attack. While they do that, like, they're all getting together, and the fight is going down in New Themyscira, which used to be London. Aquaman says something of like, I regret loving you. You killed my wife, I regret. You're wearing her helmet as a trophy. It says, I can't believe that I ever loved you. And Wonder Woman says, you never really did.
Man, am
And
I
as
right?
that's going on, they hear the word Shazam yelled by the children as Captain Marvel and the Justice League swoops down to attack. Shazam immediately goes for Wonder Woman. Flash is trying to fight everyone who he can as fast as he can. And he goes straight for Arthur. Where Barry's trying to fight Aquaman. Enchantress actually turns on the team and separates Billy.
Oh, that's a twist.
Separates Captain Marvel. And they're all the kids are trying to get back together as Shazam. And Wonder Woman's like, it's just a boy. As she grabs Billy and murders him in front of them.
Oh, damn. Oh, damn. Well, I guess they can't
And
go
this is
Shazam no more.
Nope, they can't. And Barry's like, no. he was just a boy. And Eobard finally arrives and says, "Oh, Barry, look what you did."
Spooky. Oh wait, is the Flash even the symbol of the Flash going the opposite direction as well on the Reverse Flash suit?
Yeah, yeah, that's actually what happens. I'm trying to find the last issue.
I'm trying to just get through all the stupid extras.
Found it.
Give me about another.
You got it?
No, not even close.
Rip.
I have to go through all these stupid character designs.
You know that thing? They're all included in my trade paperback.
You know,
That it would be really useful.
They're all included
It would
in
be really useful
DC
if I had it.
Infinite. Well, it sounds like a skill issue, doesn't it?
Yeah, you're right.
See, this is why we invest into technology, Lalo. Because, sometimes waiting to have the book isn't an optimal strategy.
You got issue 5 pulled up?
Not even close.
All right. Just say the word.
Alright. I get the cover up. Oh,
You got it?
Yep. Cool covers.
Right?
Oh, now they're lame because you like them, so that's absolutely lame.
And Thawne is like telling Barry, like, just taunting him, which is fucking awesome of Thawne. And he says, "A world being torn apart by your friends." And Barry just snaps at him and says, "What did you do to this world?"
I put a
What did
can
I
of
do?
tomatoes in the cart, Barry.
Oh, Barry, my idol, my inspiration. That's the beauty of all of this madness. I didn't do anything. You see, it turns out you're the villain today. You're more dangerous enemy to yourself than I could have ever hoped to be. But you forgot what you did, didn't you? I want you to remember, Barry. I want you to know the truth, and I can't. And I can do that by resetting your internal vibrations, though it will be extremely painful. And he drives this vibrating hand into Barry's skull.
I'm not
Lucky-
Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, but that's not good vibrations.
Do you remember, Barry? You were at your mother's grave on her birthday, her first birthday, since you learned I was responsible for her murder. A life gnawing emptiness finally pushed you over the edge to a place you swore you'd never go, to the past, the day your mother died. You remember, you found me, and in that instant you pulled the entire Speed Force into you to stop me from killing your mother. You were like a bullet through a windshield. You shattered history. The lives of the people closest to you were put on a broken path. You changed time like an amateur. This is your fault, Barry. This hell is your creation. You trapped the life of your mother you traded the life of your mother for the rest of the world. Do you remember?
The 21st night of September.
Barry's just destroyed by this realization.
It was you, Barry.
It was you, Barry.
Oh, that is wild. Actually, that is like straight off the hooks. I always thought, it was Reverse Flash that fucked everything up. But
and he's like, I remember, and Bond is just taunting him. Excellent. Then it's time for us to finish, and they start fighting, punch after punch, and then an explosion goes off. You did this. Yes, Barry says to Batman, then you can still fix this. We just need to get Thawne out of the equation. Then Reverse Flash just punches you, Batman. Dr. Thomas Wayne, you sad old man. The Flash was the one that was removed from my equation. The Flash is nothing to me anymore. That was the whole benefit of this. By creating basically the Flashpoint paradox, Barry Allen removed himself out of time and changed everything basically. Eobard is now able to kill Barry Allen.
Don't you hate when that happens? You just accidentally remove yourself from history.
Well, that's literally what happened to the Reverse Flash later on. And he has freed Thawne into being able to kill Barry. And now he is punching at Barry over and over and over.
I may have gone a little too far. Spoiler alert. He dies, right?
Yeah, until Batman stabs him through the heart.
Well, I guess there's no killing rule.
Well, Batman doesn't have that.
I know.
And,
I'm making a funny, Lalo. A funny.
Yeah, I know. And through this whole like mess, Barry's like, I need to change it. I need to go home. And then Grifter shows up again, motherfucker.
You know, you gotta send that one last time comic, right?
Yeah. Barry's like, Thomas is actually like blasted and near death through the whole battle by the Enchantress, and she's about to deliver the finishing blow. Cyborg is protecting the children, as he should.
Well, he protected, most of the children.
Well, we have one that didn't make it. And then Enchantress faces the wrath of Superman. He just flattens her down like a fucking pancake. And Superman's like, no more. Superman fights again against Wonder Woman and Aquaman. And Barry has a moment to breathe and talk to Thomas one last time as his memories start shattering all over again. Then Gorilla Grodd shows up for some fucking reason.
Okay, we've established why. He has that one issue tie-in. Why that one issue exists, that pie explains it, but details.
Then we have like the final like nail in the coffin as a bomb goes off, a nuclear bomb designed by Aquaman. And Thomas is like saying his last words to Barry. You can save those dying right now, Barry. You can save the millions that have already died. And you can keep your promise. You can save my son. How can I run away from this? The same reason I can. Leave this world behind. I know a better world. It will replace it. But I'm sorry. I'm sorry about your mother. And the explosion is nearing Barry. And says, I have to go. I have to run. And he runs back. And he's remembering his mother one last time. Every birthday, every celebration he had with her. As he is pushing himself out of time, stopping himself. But before he does that, he gets to see his mom one last time. He says he gets to talk to her, explain to her that he is the fastest man alive, but he has to do that all of this is going on because of him. So he has to fix it. He explains the whole thing to his mom and how he can change the past. He can't change the future. And he says that all this can be solved, can be fixed. And he says goodbye to his mother, and that he says that he will be okay. he runs back into the cosmic treadmill, stopping himself from stopping Eobard on the first place, and says, "I'm sorry, Mom. God, I'm so sorry."
Make fucking excuse me, a cosmic treadmill?
Yeah, that's how he runs back in time.
What the fuck? They should have put that in at least as a gag
In the movie?
in the movie.
So, when he stops Barry, time is shattered. He sees an entity that's Pandora. Who's the name of this bitch? Oh, they don't say.
I'm so glad this man ragged on me for not having an episode prepared, but you know.
He like destroys this. He destroys time, the present, the past, the future, timelines of it all, just shattered into themselves and created into a new thing.
The new
And
52.
he wakes up. Yeah. He wakes
fuck,
up.
is it really? Shit.
Yep.
Fuck. Oh god, no.
And he's back at the office. And he says, "I have to go. I'm okay." And he goes to check on the first person he knew that it would mean that he fixed everything. And he finds Batman. And says, "Bruce, it's Bruce, isn't it?" "Of course it is, Barry. What's wrong? What happened?" And he sees the cave, and it's the cave, the same as always been. And he explains everything.
Dinosaur head and all?
Dinosaur and all. The penny and all.
Oh gosh, the penny. The penny's good. I like the penny.
And he's like explaining everything to Batman, how the world he created was on the brink of destruction, and how everything is now. And Batman's like asking, everything's back to normal, right? And Barry's like, as far as I can tell, trying to change history. I should have known better. Thawne was right. I was selfish. Batman's basically like, don't beat yourself up about it. He basically says the same thing that he said on the movie. Like, if I had the power to save my parents, I would have done that without a second thought. And you live and learn, basically. We all like, and Barry says something that's really struck with me, and up to this point, I can't figure out why. He says, "My memories of this world were fading every minute I was in the alternate timeline. But now, even hours later, I still remember a 13th birthday party. One where my mother baked me a cake shaped like a sports car. I remember taking my driver's test with her when I turned 16. I remember going to her house for dinner on Sundays. Last week, she made lasagna, and I brought her this dessert, a lemon tart. That was her favorite. I don't know why or how, but I remember every single moment I spent with my mother in that time in an alternate timeline. I guess it could be a temporal after effect, or the result of chronal residue still in my bloodstream." And Batman just says, "Or it could just be a gift, Barry. A gift to make it a little easier." And that's when Barry decides to give him the letter from his father. And
Depressing.
Batman reads it. It is taken aback by the whole like sense of it. And Barry's like, "Are you okay?" Batman takes off his cowl and reads it carefully. And says, "Your love always, your father, Thomas." And that makes the Batman cry.
Can't have that.
And
Batman's supposed to be happy and, well, not happy, but depressing and brooding and angsty like a teenager, always.
Well, no, he says, "You're one hell of a messenger, Barry. Thank you." And that was the end.
I still can't get over the dinosaur in the Batcave.
And that's the end of the Flashpoint paradox. Or the Flashpoint storyline. which again was a big thing for without even meaning to be, which is I think the most upsetting part of it all. They didn't mean it to be this important, yet it became one of the most revolutionary stories in DC history right now.
Judging from the
So much
fact
so that
it
it's
was the
now
thing that brought pretty much the worst era of DC in modern eras, and also the only good thing that came out of it.
yeah. Well, yeah. Well, it also spawned a lot of stories that allowed Jeff Johns to become in charge. This actually was this I think one of the stories that made him in charge of DC Entertainment. Well, now not anymore because he left a little over 2 years ago, 3 years ago, right after Doomsday Clock. Doomsday Clock was in 2019. 4 years ago, around 4 years ago. And now no one gives a shit, unfortunately. He was actually in charge of a lot. He was in charge of DC television. He was in charge of DC editorial. He worked on the Flash show
Okay,
with
how many things are there now? You know,
fair enough.
DC Entertainment's pretty much gone to shit. DC TV no longer even exists, pretty much. We got what, Gotham Knights? No
And
one's
Superman
watching.
and Lois, who
The two shows that no one really watches.
yeah, and now the Arrowverse is over. Yeah,
Thank
unfortunately, like that it was shut the fuck up.
Also,
Yeah, but
I know I sent this to you,
back in
but
like
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is canon to the MCU.
yeah, it is. Technically, I've not seen that. I've not seen what's it called?
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Fucking Secret Invasion. No. I saw Agents of Shield when it was coming out. Dude, I was hooked on on that show.
I watched up to the point where the Hydra thing happened, and then I stopped watching. Then
Really, you missed like a good.
I missed
Season
like
4 is probably one of the,
I missed like
Probably
2/3 of the show.
that was probably like season 2 and season 3 and 4 were probably one of the best like seasons of television that I watched. That with along like season 1 and 2 and 3 of The Flash.
I have sat
So I
on a
remember
chance.
watching.
Book, movie, send off.
Yeah.
So I kind of like watching like after watching the film and like going through this book with you, I kind of like the fact that the film was a lot more DCEU focused, because honestly,
It wasn't.
I didn't care
It was a
about
good
Wonder
way to
Woman
send off.
and Aquaman fighting.
Really, that was one of the main things that stood out to people back then.
It just didn't really do anything for me. It was like, okay, I mean, it has no real impact on the overall story just because of the fact that it's a split
It's just a
universe.
MacGuffin.
Yeah, it's a MacGuffin
It's
to
just a
bring
MacGuffin.
everyone to. Yeah, it's nothing like watching how they wrote it in the film actually made you care about what was going on, not just it wasn't just a MacGuffin. It was an actual driven reason to progress the plot.
Yeah, we have to. In the movie, it was replaced by Zod coming to Earth.
Yeah, which makes sense for that whole entire universe.
Yeah, because it's calling back to like, hey, this is what the
This
DC
The start of our
DCEU
universe.
This is where the whole universe started with Man of Steel. So we're calling back to that, and
which
now
I
we
would
got
still
rid of
stand by.
Superman.
It was a great film.
It's still an amazing film. It's probably one of my favorite DCEU films. Period.
It's just a shame
I
that
love Man of
Snyder does not know Superman. I know this is going to be a hot take. I know you're going to get a lot of replies in the comments, but from Snyder fans. But Snyder has no clue what makes Superman click.
even if you look like stories with like
Oh
Watchmen,
God.
BVS.
Oh God, not Watchmen again. No.
Well, like Watchmen, like he took the cool scenes of the movie and put them on the big screen. With BVS, he gave us like a cool portrayal of Batman, kind of.
He
Kind
didn't
of.
give us a Batman. He gave us a Thomas Wayne.
Yeah.
If if anyone should have been Thomas Wayne, it should have been Ben Affleck.
Yeah, Ben Affleck could have been a good Thomas Wayne.
But
I still
also
argue that seeing Jeff.
seeing the Flash though, I think Ben Affleck, if he was given the proper direction and time to grow as that character, hands down the best Batman, up there with Robert Pattinson.
Yeah. Well, Robert Pattinson's my favorite Batman so far.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like up there, you know, like Pattinson's number
Yeah.
one, Ben Affleck's number two, just from the Flash.
We can all agree that Christian Bale is probably one of the worst adaptations of Batman ever.
He has good films though,
I
so
don't care.
I'm not knocking it. So
I don't care who I piss off. Christian Bale is not a good Batman.
okay, Andrew Spidey fan. Chasm
Wow,
2
you really calling me out
supporter.
like that. It's still a great film. Chasm 2 is an amazing film. I was just watching it the other day too.
You probably told the group chat, they're like, oh, I'm watching Chasm 2. It's such a great film! Exclamation mark, exclamation
I was
mark, exclamation mark.
I was posting around my 3-pack Spider-Man
Because he's
figure
a
from
child.
that.
Okay, we're getting off track again. Okay.
But with even like looking at the Flash, like yeah, you can still see like the inspiration of how they drew from Flashpoint in order to like say, okay, we're gonna like take this storyline and reset our universe.
We're going to
Did it work?
We're going to take the pillars of the story and we're going to apply it to the DCEU, which I love.
Yes.
It beats Marvel's way of adapting things, where they mostly just take the name and don't even bother looking at the source material, like Secret Invasion. I seen that screenshot, didn't I? About how the director wasn't told to even read the original storyline.
That is ridiculous, considering the fact that
the storyline, the advertising, all the advertising behind it was exactly like the advertising that original one did. You know, who do you trust? You know, all that stuff. That all stemmed from that original, you know, Secret Invasion storyline. I hate the fact that they did a second one that I have to say the original one and the secondary one. But I know no one has read the second Secret Invasion storyline, because every single time we go to the comic book store, it's still full.
Well, considering the fact that how you look at like stores like Civil War, I am so glad that finally we have a creative someone in the comic book world, in the movie world, recommending like stories for comic books to read. Like stories to read. Like James Gunn has done an amazing job, and I will say this every chance I get.
Lalo. You know the price of All-Star Superman's going to go up when the movie comes out, right?
Yeah, like we have DC has someone in charge who's not willing to be afraid of talking about comic books and afraid of recommending stories, like someone over at the other company that I won't. Yeah, thank you.
Which is a shame, because Marvel, in my opinion, I love Marvel comic books more than I like DC comic books.
Absolutely.
So seeing them fumble the bag this hard on adapting storylines is painful.
I will always defend Marvel on everything, but lately they have been fucking up real bad.
Look at the AI intro scenes.
Fucking God, I cannot with that. I swear.
But yeah, so like, I hate with Age of Ultron, because I remember I was literally the Age of Ultron storyline, the comic one, had just finished, and when Marvel announced that they're going to be doing an Age of Ultron film, and then the film came out, and it was really nothing to do with the storyline, besides the fact Ultron was in it. Like, I get it, you can't do I know Age of Ultron is a multiverse story, but also
you can name something. So you can name it something else.
yeah,
You should name it something
the Rise of Ultron or something. I don't know.
No. We're not in charge. We're not executives. Fuck you. Fuck
Exactly.
you, Marvel.
Exactly.
But with that said, this is Stories with Issues, guys, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for indulging us in our conversation and this 2-hour-long chat. How long have we been going for?
About an hour and a half. But yeah, this is something that we were trying to, kind of get done. We're trying to get more content. We're trying to get content done. We're trying to get content alive, ready to go, ready, to kick butt. So this is hopefully this is a short-term plan until we can come up with something else. But for right now, we still want to get content out to you guys, and this is the best way to do it on a consistent, regular basis until we come up with a new logistical solution. And this is Stories with Issues. Right? What was that?
Today's Wednesday, right?
Yes. It's Wednesday, my dudes.
Perfect. Love it. Today was New Comic Book Day. So, what a great way to start off this new era of Stories with Issues.
No, that was
Stories with Issues, guys.
This was completely by accident. I got off of work early, and that's why. Lala, send us off.
This is Stories with Issues, guys, and this was the Flashpoint. Thank you for watching or listening, whatever way you did it. And this is all.